and 2, and 1. Hello, Internet. I'm Joe.
I'm Eric.
Meow.
And you're listening to Just Cool Enough. And God, Joe, why'd you start the show so late?
Ike had to put his cat hat on. So I started.
It's not a hat. He's fully realizing his potential. He was born a cat. He always knew he was a cat from a very early age, and science has finally provided him a way to live out his days as the cat he knows he was meant to be.
I was born this way.
What the hell is on your fucking head, Ike? That's the episode name.
It probably isn't. That's a lot of words. That's too many words for an episode.
That's not good for SEO. Yeah, it's a terrible name. Terrible episode.
If it breaks into a second line, I'm like, fuck it, too many words.
Wait, Ike, so what is on your head? Can you please explain this for the audio listeners? By the way, if you want to listen live, we do the show live every Wednesday at 7 Eastern Time. Figure it out on your own time. And also, if you want to send us an electronic mail, you could do that by emailing the show at justcoolenough.com. The email is theshow@justcoolenough.com. Or yeah. So, Ike, what is on your face? Wait, what is going on, and why?
I am wearing a pair of electronic cat ears.
I can see that.
Because it can.
But what does it do? They're controlled by like movements on your face or something?
They're called Nico Mimi cat ears. Let's just forget about the fact that if you check out the website, that pretty much all of the pictures are all females wearing them.
Well, that doesn't surprise me.
They are
Nekomimi for anyone.
No, Neco.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Nekomimi.
Okay. Yeah. And there's a lot of photos of very cute girls.
You are not nearly as cute as all the other people wearing these.
Wait, I'm not, or I'm cuter than all of them?
No, there's one other person called Crap Gadget on Engadget that is wearing this. That is a man who looks disgusting. You look slightly better than him. All these other girls look a lot better than you. All right.
My boobs aren't as big.
Confidence.
Yeah, well,
all these girls look better than you. You look disgusting.
Hey, I wore these to my high school the other day.
What the fuck? What?
That's how much I could care less about what people think about what I wear.
So is it a statement or is it just kind of cool? Because I think they're kind of cool if you were at a con of some sort and you had this thing hooked up. That's kind of.
So I bought them at a con for more money than you can get them for online because instant gratification and con money.
Right.
I picked them up at.
Because when you're spending $35 on 2 waters and a hot dog, you think why not fucking blow it on some robotic cat ears?
Fucking cat ears are $70.
Did you get a tail?
No. I just got the cat ears. I wore them around the first day of the con on Friday night, and people could care less at a con what you look like. So,
yeah, you wear that to a nice steakhouse. People are going to be asking questions.
So I wore that around Friday and had a lot of fun with them. And I've been looking at them for a few years just because they're really cool, in my opinion. So I thought I'd buy a pair. I wore them around the con, and like I said, they were $70. You can get them online for $50. And basically, what they do is they claim that they can read your brain waves. So when you're very alert or you're paying attention to something or focused, they'll stand upright and they'll twitch a little bit. If you're like really focused or excited. And if you calm down and you just kind of relax, they will kind of turn downwards. Turn down for what? Because you're relaxed. And
okay, so I think the best thing with these, the reason yours looked like so shitty, Ike, is because it's stuck right on the top of your forehead. You saw the.
Well, I had to because of the.
Can I just ask, Joe, does every one of your sentences to Ike have to be so demeaning?
No, okay, it's terrible, but no, I think the way you gotta wear this is like.
So I was looking at Ike's really stupid, dumb, shitty face that I'd kill myself if I have, and I was thinking,
listen, it makes me feel really good to put down Ike, all right? God, all right, will you just fucking let it go? I gotta put people down to make me feel good. I'm a big, strong man. We all know. Okay, get that out of the way. Ike, so, I think, what you need to do when you wear this is you need to, cover up that black part, because it's kind of weird, right? How
Agreed.
do you get that? Because it looks funky.
Well-
I'm looking at like children with it, anybody with it, even girls. They look funky when it has the thing going across their head.
The way that I covered it up at the con was I was wearing like a Fievel, one of those hats, the Irish caps. So I was able to tuck that black part right underneath the rim.
Right.
So you couldn't really see it. And I was going to cosplay on Friday. I started putting together a costume, but I couldn't pull the last parts of it together. But I did end up buying a wig. So it was kind of an anime wig so that you could kind of wear that, and it did cover up. The wig was black, the little thing's black. It kind of works together.
Yeah,
But-
I see like some funky wigs and stuff. I think it's kind of cool that they're doing things like the cat ears isn't my thing, but if they made it like alien antennas or something, I don't know. I've never.
There's a third-party company, and Nico makes them too, of different kinds of ears. Like they make different colored cat ears at the actual site, but there's some third-party sites where you can get like wolf ears or like devil horns. I don't know why you'd want a devil horns at Twitch, but you can get different parts. But
What about like a
people
big?
that are watching? You can watch me as I yank off one of the ears. They come off really easy, and they're just these little square rectangular parts.
Oh yeah, well, you should do like big moose. What are the things? Tentacles.
Yeah.
Just like these giant servos hanging off your head.
They're called
I'd
antlers.
cosplay a spaceship. Antlers. That's the thing.
And
Thanks, Eric.
Then, as Eric pointed out,
You know all those moose tentacles? What kind of
that's
fucked
a
up?
really big niche.
what-
The moose
yeah.
tentacle porn.
What kind of fucked up like weird acid trip do you go on when you're in the woods? You're like, yeah, just do some shrooms. I just watched all the deer and the moose with their massive tentacles and just them just skewering each other and then having blood orgies. And then the devil screams at me, and the devil has the face of my mother, and it's a good time. It's relaxing.
Right. No, yeah, it's.
So- So, I realized the downside to these ears. I mean, aside from, again, I wore them to school. The kids at first were like, what the hell is on your head? And then they're like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like, they're like, wait, did those move? And then I explained them. Like, oh, those are awesome. Like, all the high schoolers thought it was pretty awesome, which I was a little shocked about. Some of my fellow teachers are like, what the fuck's on your head? I'm like, they're mechanical cat ears. They're like, are you that fucked up? I'm like, the kids don't seem to mind, and I don't give a shit, so whatever. So it was interesting that the kids were more on board than the adults were. My boss,
we joke about and we make fun of the things we don't understand, and I definitely don't understand it, but it has at least a technology appeal to me where I'm like, oh, well, that's kind of cool. There's different applications for this. Like I don't understand it at all, but I think it's kind of cool.
No, you can't take back all those hurtful things you said, Joe.
Well, I have a lot of shows.
I like the technical aspects and how it goes, but also you're a dumb, shitty person, and as a human being, you're garbage.
Listen, I've said a lot of shitty things to Ike. I'm gonna start reforming myself starting right now.
So Friday night, because I only got into one
God
panel.
damn it! Please be quiet. Let Eric talk for just a half a second.
I got nothing to talk about. Fucking let him talk.
Okay.
I forgot there was a show until 3 minutes ago, so please let him fill all the time.
So Friday night, that's when I picked up those ears. I get out of school because Friday was Good Friday, but my school doesn't celebrate any fucking holidays because they're anti-religious. So my girlfriend went to the con without me earlier in the day. So I get there and I told her, I'm like, I'm looking for these ears. She's like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. It sounds fucked up. And then we get there and I end up finding them in the vendor rooms. I buy them immediately. And I go out to a kiosk and spend $10 to buy 4 AA batteries. And I'm wearing this thing around. And the only panel that we were able to make it to that night was Hentai Guide for Girls.
Oh, God damn it.
As you do.
So I'm like up in this. I mean, it's not just women at this thing. There's guys there, and it is a little bizarre when it's always guys without women there. It's like some guys show up with the girlfriends, like I did, other just girls, and then there's like the random fat guy who just shows up, who's kind of like the short shirt. I don't know. Anyway,
that was
so
me.
I'm sitting there with like what? It's like a PowerPoint with videos. So I'm sitting there with these ears, like. And then, like, I realize partial way through as they're showing the video clips that, again, I'm essentially wearing something on my head that tells you how interested or excited I am about what's going on around me. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, these are really cool. I'm like, oh, wait, I should probably take this giant mood ring off of my head while I'm staring at this hentai on the wall. So I'm like, deactivate it, just left my cat ears on.
It just, has a speaker that says what you're thinking, and you're like, I have a boner now.
So that was pretty fun. And then I bought a little Team Fortress 2 plastic figurine while I was there, and I bought some really cool wall art scrolls while I was there. Some random artist up in the artist gallery was selling them. Like, she makes them into the wall scrolls. And then, as Eric pointed out, and I put on Facebook, I got there on Saturday. We left a little late, and we had my friend's cash box because she's a vendor there because she left it at my house. So we showed up there. We get into Boston about 12:30. We actually drove in to the Heinz Convention Center, which after 2 hours of parking cost $40.
Shit.
So we're driving around for an hour, though, because this parking garage is full. We managed to find, after an hour, another parking garage across the street for $33. And we end up getting to it took us an hour to find a place. We literally drove around the block till we could find a parking garage. And we get outside we cross the convention center, and there's people that are like, oh, they worked for the con. Like, you need to go back outside and around the corner to the front of the building. The line was at the front of the building, like the front left-hand corner. It went all the way to the front right-hand corner, went around the corner, down the side. And these are all people that already have tickets.
Oh, my gosh.
And
what con was this?
This is Anime Boston.
Okay.
It's a decent con, but they've outgrown the Heinz Convention Center, but they've already entered into a contract to use that venue for the next few years, so they're kind of stuck with it.
About when I went the last time I went to BlizzCon, because we had our tickets, but the line to get into BlizzCon wrapped all the way around the convention center into the back parking lot, and then like zigzagged across half of the parking lot, like up and down. And this was just to get in. It took us like 2 hours to get into the convention center when we had tickets. I was like, this is fucking bullshit.
So I kind of cheated it because I told my friend, I'm like, we have your cash box. We've been here for an hour. We apologize, but we can't get in right away. She's like, well, what you want to do is go into the Sheraton, which is hooked up to the Heinz Convention Center, ask where the blood drive is.
Oh, my God.
They're going to point you out to the third floor, and when you get up there, our other friend, Jen, will be waiting there to get you in the back door.
What?
So we asked, we felt like assholes because we're like, oh, where's the blood drive? And then like, oh, it's up here. And we're like, yeah, blood drive.
You got
and then
your
we get up
ears
there,
on.
and our friend's like, this is the way to go. So we ended up getting in, and then once we got in, we got in the cash box, but we'd skip breakfast because we were late trying to get the cash box there. And so
then you stole food from the blood drive. You just took all the orange
juice. Yeah, we're
juice
just like,
and
oh,
bagels.
my blood sugar low. The point where like, oh, well, we could go back down to the food court, but then we'd have to go back outside and wait in that really long line. Or we could eat in the con, which was what we decided to do. So we're talking about lunch for two, a hot dog and a hamburger, 2 orders of fries, 2 waters, and 2 bottles of Pepsi, $33.
That is a well-rounded meal right there. You got all the food groups.
So it was a bacon cheeseburger. So it was even had more than food groups.
Then you basically stole from them if it had bacon on it and you only take that much.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous, but not surprising.
I was a little shocked. I'm like, there better be fucking gold flakes in these things like Goldschlager has, so at least I feel like I get something out of it.
That's what I felt again. Like the last time I was at BlizzCon, I got a soda from one of the vending machines, and it was like $2.50. I was like, fuck. And then later, I wanted a soda from just one of the stands, and that wasn't even 2 liter. That was a can, and it was $2.50.
So
I'm like, gee, fuck you.
Yeah, I can't. I've been so fucking lucky because just knowing the right people or whatever. These last couple of auto shows and shows that I've been to, I've been either gotten in as media or gotten in as like a distributor of some sort. So I've just been like going and getting like the free shrimp cocktails out in like the media outlets, and like I'm like, look at all the proletarians drinking water out of fountains, and I'm like, another shrimp cocktail, please. I don't even like the shrimp. I just like dump it out on the ground, and I'm like, actually, how about we have one of these little fondue things? And I just tap it out of their hands, and it falls on the ground. Oh, sorry, sir. It's just amazing, but it's the best feeling, like watching all the pores out there in their lines, and then you're sitting there like, oh man, this is great, and you're like clinking your champagne glasses, and like, oh yes, yes, this display surely has the best food and hors d'oeuvres. Ow. And then you just walk out. I can't imagine going back, and I'm so proud of you, like finding the back door way in. But it's very Joe Cariotti of you. I give you an award.
So yeah, it was a good time though. I go again next year, but I definitely think I'd take the T in rather than drive all the way in because I don't want to spend that much money on parking. And I didn't unfortunately see any listeners. I was hoping at least, I'm sure there are probably some there. I would like to think that the largest anime convention on the East Coast had at least one listener aside from myself.
Well, no.
I'm one listener.
It was just you. It was just you. Let's not joke around.
Picked up some anime, spent lots of money, and then realized.
So this is a weird thing. Like I went to a medieval thing a while back, and there's also a couple like Comic-Con and things going on. Is it still really an anime convention, or does it just boil over into nerd culture? Because I think a lot of these cons that have been going on for a long period of time, it's kind of like the IGN 80% review thing. It's like all these cons just kind of melt together. It's like, this is an anime convention / steampunk / fantasy / whatever, and it just dilutes what the con originally was.
I think like TempleCon in Rhode Island every year is like they usually have like future punk or what retro punk, whatever the thing is, but it always turns out to be steampunk every year. I mean, they have, but it's like always steampunk, and then whatever happens to be the theme, there might be some people, but mostly steampunk. This anime convention tends to be, I would say, probably 80% to 90% anime related, and then some that were not. Like I went Saturday dressed in my steampunk outfit. I've seen people dressed in Team Fortress 2 outfits. Primarily, it's mostly anime, but it definitely, the culture, is very forgiving and allows for people to be dressed up as. I saw a Death Knight with a dude. He was wearing this really cool kind of Death Knight costume from World of Warcraft, except it was pretty much just a man thong with these giant shoulder pads that he had made and this really cool like hammer with. It was really well made, but there totally wasn't a lot to it.
Clearly, did your ears go like?
No, that was the second day.
Your ears keep popping up at like embarrassing moments. You're like, "What? His butt looks nice." Like, what am I supposed to do? I can acknowledge a sexy man, whatever. It's just making it weird.
Your girlfriend's like, Ike, and you're like, stop reading my mind.
Oh man,
They're
we
dangerous.
do have a.
With two emails. One's related to what we're talking about, and then we have another email. But this one says, "I would love to." This is from Joe, not you, Joe. Clearly, says, "I would love to see 2 of the floppiest dongers attached to those, plus opinions on MHU4."
Floppiest dong. Thanks for the email, Joe.
We also got a message from a guy named Adam, but it's one of those, hey, you got a message on Badu, so join this social network. I'm like, fuck you, I'm not joining
It's
this.
called Baidu, Eric.
Who gives a shit? And what the fuck is, Monster Hunter for you, I assume is what he's asking for. I don't know, I just typed MH4U into Google, and the only thing, I assume Monster Hunter, no opinion, never played it, it seems okay.
Well, it did just get released on February 14th, 2015.
Don't care.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I assume that Joe is talking about Monster Hunter. I haven't looked into it at all. Does that make me a terrible human being? Most
Probably.
likely. Yeah.
Well, and my attentions have turned primarily to Heroes of the Storm, or when I'm not playing that, now I'm watching Attack on Titan. So I've been getting more into
English
anime.
Dubbed yet?
It is not English dubbed, and even if it were, I would tell you not to watch it in English.
The English dub is coming.
I know, but don't watch it in English. Watch it in Japanese.
Dude, I don't got time for that. I sit there and do other things when I'm watching.
The problem that I had was like I showed it to we saw a ton of it at the con. I found it on Netflix yesterday. I started watching it, and then I got to episode 13, and then I was talking to the girlfriend, and she's like, "Oh, I don't really want to watch it." And then I put the first episode on. She's like, "This is awesome." Now she's chain watching it. She caught up to me. She's on episode 13, but I told her, I'm like, I gotta go do the show. I can't watch the next episode with you, and I haven't even finished 13. She's like, that's okay. I'll watch it again with you later. I'm like,
what?
Yeah.
That is unacceptable. Like, you need to march back in there and tell her to stop watching. How are you gonna have detailed conversations about shows after you're done? If she's ahead of you?
Yeah. It's fucking ridiculous.
I
Yeah,
thought
that's
she loved
probably
you.
the only like that's probably the best first episode of an anime, because most anime is like just nonsense garbage for the first 5 episodes. You have to like watch 5 episodes to understand what anything's happening and before anything of a significant happens. But that first episode just like fucking kicks in the door right away.
I only watched the first 2 or 3 minutes because there wasn't a ton of dialogue in it, and I'm like, this is gonna be fucking awesome.
It's very gory.
Yeah.
But
I love
last
how
week I did
insane-
start, and it will let me kind of continue a conversation with the two of you now that I can feel a part of. Sword Art Online is now on Netflix, so I've gotten through the first 2 episodes. I really want to keep going, but now I'm a little kind of distracted by Attack on Titan, so I'm hoping to finish that and jump back to Sword Art Online.
Yeah. I would say stick with Attack on Titan, then jump to Sword Art. Sword Art's not bad, but it's not Attack on Titan. I really enjoyed it so much that I was pissed off when I finished the season and I went and started reading the manga. Like I went and found the manga because it literally is the exact same. Like it looks exactly the same. The only difference is it's in black and white, but it looks like the drawings, everything is exactly the same. All the characters, I just skipped to the point that the anime ended, and so I caught up with the anime. It gets fucking crazy. It kind of goes.
And I kind of wish I caught up with it because I know at the con they actually had episodes 4 and 5 of Sword Art Online 2 premiering before anywhere else in the world. They were playing it at the con. I was like, if I were only caught up, and then I was like, I know there's a second one now. So that's a little bit of a spoiler, and then I'm like, but how could there be a second one? Because the first one you'd have to beat the game.
It must have been premiering in English because I watched the first half of the Sword Art Online 2 in Japanese already. So it must be they just dubbed it or something, I guess.
I think I watched the second part of it in English already, but I don't know.
The first season is kind of has 2 distinct halves, and then the second season they call it Sword Art Online 2, and it also has two halves basically.
I don't remember. I remember thinking that was one of the weaker ones I've watched, but a lot of people like it.
I liked the first half of both the first and second season. The second half sort of changed a little bit. I don't think they're as strong, but it's interesting.
But yeah, that's weird.
And I picked up another anime because I went to a table there with a bunch of stuff of things that I had seen, and there were some that I hadn't. I was like, hey, I'm looking for like some kind of anime. What would you suggest? And
Is
I can't
there any
remember.
anime Farscape? Do you guys have any animated Farscape?
So the guy gave me a recommendation. It's two seasons long. It's in the other. I picked up the first one. I was like, what are the chances A that it's going to be good, and B that I'm going to be able to get the second one easily. So I'm like, I'll just buy both halves of the first and second season and hope that it's good because it totally cost me $60. And if it sucks, that was a poor investment. But at least it's not a pair of ears.
What anime?
I don't remember the name off the top of my head.
Oh.
Something 7 begins with an E.
I don't know enough about anime.
Yeah, I'm very ill-equipped.
He's describing it kind of like a Cowboy Bebop type, like that takes place on another planet in space. It's kind of like a Western, but like you don't really know what's going on at the beginning of the anime. You're just kind of thrown into it. As these people are trying to colonize this planet, things are going down.
We got a follow-up email to our comments here. It's almost like a chat room comment. I love it. You could read it out.
So this is again from Joe. He says, Joe, suck it up and watch it in Japanese. Sword Art is great, and it has full English dub, and one of you ignorant swines pick up a handheld system.
My 3DS is over there. You want me to just pick it up? I mean, I can
pick it up.
I'll
Throw
pick it
in
up.
The garbage.
And I got my handheld system right here, but I can't show it off on the internet.
Mine's so not in my hands right now. So I just didn't know where I was.
I've just been playing with this weird Allen wrench that came with my IKEA chair.
So right now I'm backing up copies of Star Wars on my computer because
why?
What
you didn't hear? George Lucas is going to go around with a giant magnet erasing all the DVDs. So Joe's trying to back it up before.
That's not gonna. That won't help your hard drive.
Yeah. Well, he's putting it in the cloud.
Oh.
Yeah. So anyway, I am putting it in the cloud. They're uploading to Dropbox as we speak. But I just recently found my box set, and because I went to go buy it, and I was like, fuck. all these Star Wars DVDs are still like $100-something, and it's not even like the real cut that I want. It's like the fucking upgraded
You gotta
special
watch-
edition.
Yeah, I went to a midnight screening of Empire Strikes Back, and it was kind of a fan cut, but it was mostly the Laserdisc version.
Right.
So it was like the
You
most
said laser
original.
disc, right? Not laser
Yeah,
dick. Because I
Laserdisc
totally
version.
heard laser dicks.
I might have said Laserdisc.
Laserdisc is what you put on top of those ear servo
Yeah.
things.
They shoot all of them.
But all you have to do is wait, because I think Disney's already said they're gonna release the unedited versions.
I know. But the thing is, okay, like Sarah still hasn't watched Star Wars ever, and it's like, do I wait now to the unedited versions or like?
I
'cause-
literally got into an argument once with a girl over this. And by argument, I mean she said she'd never watched Star Wars, and then I went on a fucking rant about
He's like,
it.
you know what?
Like-
you could suck my laser dicks.
No, it wasn't even a rant at her and an argument. It was a one-sided argument with myself about Star Wars. Like I was like, yeah, you should totally watch it. And then it was like just 5 minutes later, I'm like, and fuck George Lucas. And I just realized I was like, I have been just yelling at nobody for the past 5 minutes.
She's like going to eat a fucking.
He was actually gone. He turned around. She was just gone.
Yeah,
went
She
to an
left a
In-N-Out.
while ago.
She went to an In-N-Out and left on a Subway or something.
Yeah. I mean, it was just like, I was like, oh God, I'm a monster.
I became what I hate.
And it wasn't even like she was like, which version? But she just mentioned it offhand that she hadn't seen it and would like to. And that was enough to just send me on a tirade
Dude,
of
you
just,
totally like. Why didn't you say, "Hey, you can come over to my place"? But
because
don't say
I'm
your
a
mom's place.
monster. And it might
She
have
had actually said she wanted to see the porn store whores.
Store-
And he misheard her and thought she said she wanted to watch Star Wars. So he was just ranting on a totally unrelated topic to what she brought up.
And then you're like, I'm really into Harry Twatter. Have you seen that? And Eric starts yelling about Harry Potter.
Can't believe she just edited the movie right there.
I mean, fucking splitting that last movie into two was bullshit. I mean, do you remember anything from that first half? No, because nothing fucking happens. It's a horseshit
These
movie.
girls are just throwing themselves at Eric, and Eric just keeps swatting them away with obscure film knowledge.
No, it's not obscure film knowledge. It's just me.
film
It's
rant.
just angry. It just rants about absolute garbage.
See, Eric could have been married 5 times by now to different hot women, but he just keeps scaring them away and not realizing it.
He keeps thinking it's a trap. So anyway, we have another email here.
Yeah. This is from. Didn't actually
It's
say
from a
anything.
guy.
Shingo. He says, "Hey Eric, Joe, and Ike. Longtime listener, Noma here. Oh, there we go. Put up at the beginning. I look at the end, like from whoever, and there's nothing. Whatever. Anyway, I figured it was about time to send you guys an email, and I was hoping you could help me. You see, I have trouble talking to people and maintaining meaningful relationships, so you've come to the wrong place.
No, you.
I barely leave the house and avoid social events like the plague. One of my worst fears is that people may find out I'm boring and have nothing interesting or funny to say. That's why you start a podcast with 2 of your friends. I have a voice in my head booing me off, "You suck," every time I hear myself talk. Then I come home and relive every awkward mistake I've made that day and promise myself never to leave my room. It's a vicious cycle, really. I don't talk to people because I have nothing to say, so I have no one to do stuff together, and so on. Will I someday be able to have the sexes without paying them? Thanks for reading my email, and fuck you, Joe. You're not a nerd. P.S. My top 3 TV shows are Freaks and Geeks, Mad Men, and Twilight. P.S.S.
Twilight Zone.
you just
You left
you
out the
missed an
zone.
important part there.
Oh, sorry.
What? Could
Maybe
you?
I read what I wanted to read. I thought we had something in common, but now I
You
guess
buy-
not.
You
All
buy
right.
you buy Nico cat ears and suddenly it changes
No.
the way you see words.
That was still a better love story than Twilight. Just that little part right there.
PSS, you should also check out Bloodline on Netflix. It's a bit slow at first, but worth it.
Okay, you basically just describe. You might as well just. I think I
This is
said
actually
this.
Eric sent in
did you
this
actually?
email.
Yeah.
I
are
might
you
have I wrote this email 5 years ago, forgot about it, and told Google to send it on this exact date. Maybe I don't know. Yeah, it's the. I mean, you just gotta fucking get over. I mean, not like get over the fact, but pretend you're over it. Like I'm terrible at talking to people. But let me tell you where you have a leg up on me. You just unannounced, unasked for, talked about a bunch of TV shows right there at the end. People fucking love to talk about TV shows. You don't understand how much, like, how little I can relate to people just because I haven't caught up on Better Call Saul yet. People just like, what, you haven't seen? You don't watch Mad Men? You know? I was like, yeah. I mean, I watched a couple of seasons. Like, yeah, I saw the first few episodes of Better Call Saul, but I haven't watched it. Like people fucking love just talk about TV with people. It's so, and you just have to like pretend that you're not terrified at every moment. That's what I do, and find something that you're interested in doing and do it. I like improv and sketch comedy, so I started doing that, and I've made friends doing that, and I talk to people about that, and also TV shows and bullshit. But also, it's okay to not dominate a conversation. A lot of the times when I'm in public, you wouldn't think it from listening to this podcast, but most of the time it's me listening to other people talk for quite a long time till I get very comfortable talking to them.
And then he won't shut up.
What I'm trying to figure out, though, Eric, and I think you might have mentioned this before, it's because you're acting, but at the same time, it's like, if you have a hard time starting a conversation, I feel like doing improv would either be the best thing for you or the worst thing for you. But as the best thing for you, I don't understand why you can't translate those skills into everyday conversation with people. Or the worst thing for you, because I can't figure out how the fuck you stand up on stage in front of a whole group of people who are clearly passing judgment on your ability to perform.
Well, that's just, I mean, I don't want to tell him, like, take improv, it helps. I mean, it might not, but I've never had a problem being on stage. I mean, I think I've mentioned before.
No performance anxiety from you?
No, because I remember in kindergarten, we did this school play thing about fucking recycling or something for Earth Day, and I got a part, and I wasn't super interested in it, but my parents were like, yeah, you were the only kid that didn't look terrified to be on stage, and I was like, yeah, it wasn't a problem for me, so it's never been a problem, so improv always seemed fun, but it did help me in, because it's just sort of yes-anding conversations. It's just like this person says something and then you yes-and. And the best improv is usually when you internalize it and you make it real. The realer it is, the more convincing, the better the improv gets. So I do.
That's how I relate to masturbation. The more realer you can make it, the better it gets.
Yeah.
So, but I think this is just like this person.
Joe, listen, Eric hasn't had a chance to talk at all this show.
No, I think it's really important that Eric does talk about this because this person's clearly in a similar position, and I can empathize with it. And I think the other thing you should remind yourself is, like, everybody's that scared to talk to people. Maybe not at that level, but at some level, everyone's scared to talk to people, and different people do it different ways.
I mean, I sometimes seem like I have it together more than I normally do, but I was they had this big like 2 weeks ago, the Nerdist Improv Theater had this big like 12-hour improv festival, which was fun. But then like the moments where I couldn't find one of the 7 people that I knew at the school were terrifying me and I would stand by myself and look at my phone and pretend like it didn't terrify me to be alone. And then after that, there was a big party. There's the after party, and there was a moment where like everyone I knew was at the dance floor, and I walked onto the dance floor, and it was terrifying. It's loud music and just crowded, like you can't move without touching somebody. It was like it was terrible, but you just I just pretended like it didn't terrify me, and it just kind of like tried to get the fuck out of there, and it's fucking awful. But you just have to. I would just get out there, find that thing that you enjoy, that you can do. Like for me, it's improv comedy and sketch comedy, and I met people who were into that stuff, and they're all into it. So we talk about comedy and stuff, and all kinds of stuff. With you, find that thing. If it's like, I don't know if you're into Dungeons and Dragons or if you're into fucking cars or whatever.
I think that's a good gateway for people. There's, like you're saying, Eric, there's all kinds of good events around, and I'm assuming if you listen to this show, you have to have at least some interest in Dungeons and Dragons, and the fact that you say, fuck
God,
me...
Joe, do you have to bring that every week? Do you have to bring up Dungeons and Dragons
the fact that this person is saying, fuck me, Joe, I'm not a nerd, I think actually there has to be somewhat of a local presence, even if it's a city or two over. It's worth the walk to go get that human interaction that you're definitely seeming to be craving. my heart goes out to you, and it's tough to feel like you're alone.
Just fake it till you make it. That's what I say.
It sounds like you should slick back your hair and wear a tie when you say, "Just fake it till you make it, kid."
Yeah.
But that's actually some of the most profound shit I've ever that you could like stick by. It works.
I find it to be kind of, I guess, the same vein, but it's kind of, for me, it's like I wear cat ears to a high school full of students who are high school age, and like if you can get over the fact that whatever people think about you is not worth even contemplating. Like doing the show helped me a lot, just be more social, like talk in front of people, but at the same time, like I did like a few talent shows back in middle school and high school where I got up on stage and just did lip syncing, and just kind of like, fuck it, like people are gonna think what people are gonna think, and as long as you have fun doing whatever you're doing, then screw them.
Fuck yeah, dude. That's so right. Because as weird as you think you are, there's people out there that are the same weird as you. So
Or
the trick is
weirder.
or weirder. But that's the thing. We think it's weird if we don't understand what other people are doing. Like your cat ear thing. Fucking weird. I'm gonna judge you about it. But what does that mean? Like we've seen it on the show today. We're still friends. Like I still like Ike. It's not like I'm like, oh fuck your cat ears. That's it. It's over. Like generally humanity's more accepting than you think too. So and I personally think it's kind of cool. So. But,
Well, and I think finding things like cons or like D&D, where it's like-minded people, finding the table at lunch if you're in high school or college that have weird people that's sitting at it.
yeah.
At least then you feel a little more comfortable and you're a little more willing to open up.
I mean, it could be super fucking terrifying. I know, because there was basically, after I graduated high school, there was 8 years between then and when I moved to Los Angeles where I had no friends, really. I mean, I had a couple friends in high school who would once or twice a year, we'd meet up and, and hang out a little bit, play, like, we'd go to the LAN center or something, or when we were old enough to drink, get shit-faced and watch Braveheart, but a couple of times a year. But for the most part, I had no friends. I got super fat. I stayed indoors all day. I barely showered. And the only social interaction I had for years was doing this and other podcasts. That was like Joe and Ike and some of the other people I knew were the only actual friends I had for years. And then I moved to Los Angeles, where several of my internet friends turned into real friends because they were living there. And then I slowly started to get new friends. I still don't have a ton of friends because
but you don't need a ton of friends. You don't need.
Yeah, I know.
No, my Facebook numbers have to be high, or else I'm
No,
not.
I mean, I don't give a shit about Facebook friends. I'm like real friends. Like I'm still don't have like I have like a handful of friends, and even like Kyle and Eric, who were internet friends for years and real friends for like the almost 4 years I've lived here. It's only been in the past year or so that we've become really close, because it used to be we'd only see each other every few months, and now we see each other once or twice a month because we do board game nights. So we've become that much closer friends. I would say they're probably my two best friends at this moment, which I probably wouldn't have said a year or two ago. But yeah, it's
We've
not
been
it's,
replaced, Joe.
It's not
that's
easy.
Probably good. They live close to him. Like.
Yeah,
But
well,
it's-
you didn't invite me over to your house for Easter or to watch Daredevil.
That's. Hey, you said you hated Daredevil. We were gonna watch Elektra.
No, I
No,
said
the
I
actual
hated.
Netflix.
Yeah, the Netflix show that looks like it's gonna be really good.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought you were talking about the blind guy that's like, oh, I'm a superhero.
It is. That
That
is.
is the one. It's just
Wait,
Netflix
what?
made a
What's
series.
going on? What?
Marvel got their rights back and made a really what looks like a really awesome gritty crime drama starring the superhero Daredevil, and it comes out next week, and it looks fucking awesome.
Oh.
Um,
All
It's
right then.
probably. I hope it's gonna be really good
I hope it will also be good.
because it's
Actually-
not Ben Affleck pretending to be Batman.
What? Yeah. All right. Cool. Well, I didn't realize that was the Daredevil you're talking about. I'm actually kind of excited because I thought that was a cool superhero concept. So
Yeah.
hopefully we helped out. We helped out this person a little bit. Keep us updated. I guess if you don't want us to air your dirty laundry, though, you definitely shouldn't write in. So.
Or if
there's
you
that.
want us to do it, email us at theshow@justcoolenough.com.
I think it's cool that people feel comfortable enough hearing us and listening to us that they're willing to say things like that.
Actually, it was just Eric from the past.
You know what? Even if it was, Eric. I'm really proud of you for emailing in. These kind of talks like help you come out of your shell and be the person that you want to be. So, anyway.
The person I want to be is like
It's
30 pounds
Batman.
lighter.
No, you want to be Batman.
Yeah. Yeah, want to be. Certainly, I'm not Batman. I don't know who Batman is. He's a vigilante who needs to be brought to justice.
You sound more like the Joker right now, or
I-
Two-Face.
No, I'm actually Doctor Strange, where I want to kill Batman and replace him.
Why are you so good at this?
I like Batman a lot.
I like this show a lot, guys. This email brought us closer together.
Although I will say, I was watching more of Max Landis' stuff about Superman, and I realized, like, I know a lot of people that like Superman. I always kind of thought, like, he's just like an immortal space Jesus, goody two shoe guys. Who gives a shit? But then I heard an awesome argument, like that Max Landis made about Clark Kent and Superman, is that he's one of the most unique heroes, not just because he's the most powerful hero and undefeatable, but because he was never given his powers. He was just born from them. And even though he's an alien, he didn't know that till he was like a teenager. So he's just a guy from Kansas who decided, "Oh, I'm a god," and he's decided to just be a superhero and be good. So he's always good. Like he always makes the right choice, because that's, in his mind, that's what you do when you have this kind of superpower. And he's kind of like God walking amongst the children of Earth and taking care of them because they're children to him, and it's him doing always the right thing. And that's why he was talking about how he didn't mind that he kills General Zod in Man of Steel, because General Zod's not one of the children. General Zod's an adult, and adults it's like, that was my biggest problem, because Superman shouldn't have a knockdown, drag-out fight in the middle of Metropolis and kill thousands of people knocking down buildings. He should be the guy who is above that shit.
But he's still just. You go into it so much, but he still comes off as really one-dimensional in all the movies that he's been in, at least.
I would say that, yeah, in the movies and the
it doesn't come off as a likable, scrappy superhero, because it's impossible to do that with the powers he has, and it's just like he's just so. It's like, oh man, I really like the Lakers. It's because they're all, I'm a big Yankees fan. I live in Detroit, but I love the Yankees. They're the fucking best, you know?
Yeah.
It's just, it's like Ferrari.
I get it. I mean, he's no longer my favorite. I still love Batman, because Batman always wins, because Batman fights dirty and is always prepared. Like, he doesn't go into a fight without at least several different strategies on how to win. And he cheats. He always cheats, because he doesn't care, because he knows that there's no cheating in a fight.
I think Batman is I don't know, I mean, he always was. They always pair Superman and Batman together, and I always thought Batman was the cooler.
They're always, because they're a great foil for one each other, because Superman doesn't know how to fight. He's just the strongest man in the universe, so he doesn't have to, and he doesn't have to strategize or plan. He just punches things because
normally.
And that's one of the things is interesting about Superman, is that he could kill anybody who attacks him. He chooses not to. Like, it's so easy for him to kill, but he just doesn't do it. And Batman, he's just a man. He's just the smartest man in the world.
It was actually really weird when I was watching, because I could remember watching like the Adventures of Superman or whatever cartoon or live action thing, and when the revelation happened, like, you know, I was like, oh, that's bullshit. Why wouldn't he just punch through that guy and spew his guts all over the wall? Like, and then you're like, wait. So everything he's doing, he's kind of like holding back.
Yeah, he's always holding back.
He's just like, what? Then it's why is he doing that? He's like, but. So yeah, like, I think it just equates.
Because it's like you wouldn't go like see a child misbehaving and like kick him in the face and murder him. No, you'd say stop it. You grab him by the shoulder and say stop it, please stop it.
You get a timeout.
Yeah, you'd give him a timeout or something. Like you
break his neck, or send him into the other dimensions or whatever.
Yeah, you're like that. Well, your child acted up, so I set him on fire. You know?
So I blew up half of Metropolis, had a 30-minute boss fight. And killed part of a family.
Yeah.
But I thought about it, so it's okay. That was a crappy. I didn't like that adaptation of Superman.
It wasn't very good for a lot of reasons. What It's funny because like they're showing off the pictures for Batman Superman, and everyone looks super brooding and dark, and it's like, why is everyone brooding? That's Batman's thing. He's the brooding one. Everyone else is the non-brooding ones. That's what makes him so interesting because he's always sad. He's also psychotic. He's clinically psychotic.
Oh man, do you think the superhero thing is over though?
No, long from it.
Yeah.
From Hollywood. I mean, I know we have a lot of sequels, prequels, but don't you think it's like wearing on? Or...
Not for me. I fucking love it. I fucking
what
love
we need next is zombie movies with superheroes.
Oh
I fucking love everything Marvel does so far. I'm so excited for the new Netflix show. Age of Ultron comes out in a month. And then all the new shit, like I'm on board. Like DC, I'm gonna watch it, but they've been playing catch up for years, and I don't see anything they've done so far that is telling me that they. I mean, the Suicide Squad movie looks interesting, but I don't know. Like it just looks like they're really trying to play catch up. Fucking Spider-Man's gonna be in Captain America: Civil War probably. You know It's fucking a golden age. It's all the movies I ever wanted to see when I was 12.
It is kind of a golden age right now. I don't know. I'm kind of fatigued by it, and I'm only gonna watch the ones that you tell me to watch.
Okay.
So be aware. If you find something really great, let me know.
Okay.
Have
you watched Captain America: Winter Soldier?
I don't know. If it's on the plane. Oh fuck! That reminds me. The next 2 to 3 weeks, I'm not going to be on the show, so maybe it'll be on the plane when I go over and I'll watch it. It won't be the highest fidelity experience, but hey, at least it'll keep me occupied. So yeah, I'm not going to be on the show planned for 3 weeks. I just figured I'll tell you now and mention it to the listeners so those guys can't blame me.
Thank you for listening. Just Cool Enough's taking 2 to 3 weeks off.
You better not. And I'm going to tell you why you should not do this, because I need something to listen to in my podcast feed, and what better thing to listen to than episodes of Just Cool Enough with Eric and Ike, and possibly a special
Probably anything else.
No. I like listening to you
Quite
guys.
literally. Cats scratching their nails on a chalkboard. Probably better.
No, it's not. I know it's not. I hate that noise. I like your noises better. Please don't cancel the episode.
Now, who is going? Is it you and Sarah going, or?
No, it's just me this time.
Oh,
it's
so
all
maybe we have our special guest right there.
I think Blondie.
He's like, now she's going.
Yeah, no, Sarah's going. Just kidding. No, we should talk to Blondie about getting on, filling my role. Filling my huge shoes that are impossible to fill.
Your huge shoes and very wide pants.
Yes, very wide, strong pants. I need all that extra room for business things. Where am I gonna put my BlackBerry? In my very wide pants. Yeah. Anyway, I'm almost done burning the bonus materials, so that's good. Things are going well. I actually totally forgot how to back up, rip, and burn DVDs, and it was the weirdest thing. I had my DVD drive for emergencies for like installing operating systems on my computer, and I got these DVDs. I'm like, all right. When was the last time I did this? 2008 or something? Like that was the last time I did anything with physical media.
Yeah, I can't recall the last time I ever had to do it. I think the last time I wanted to do something like that, I was like, fuck it, and I just torrented the thing that I already owned on disc because it was easier than figuring out how to rip it off the disc.
Seriously, man, like I was just like I couldn't believe I'm a computer guy, right? Like that's what I do all the time. Totally forgot how to interact with physical media as far as like backing it up and making copies and things like that. I'm just like I don't even remember. I don't remember if I have to like jailbreak this thing or do some crazy code. I don't remember how we.
I have a friend who he still does Netflix DVDs like me, and he says I just I get them and I rip them and then send them back right away. And I was like, that's too much fucking work. I would just torrent the ones I wanted to watch that badly. Like I can't fucking. I don't want to have to deal with that. I mean, maybe he's got to figure out a way to make it go by faster, but I was just like, I don't want
like disk spinning speeds and read speeds. That's really maxed at like 52x. So the same speed you were getting in like 2000 was is probably about as fast as you're gonna be able to do it. The encoding happens a lot faster nowadays, but yeah. Anyway, I just I don't know. There's something about having a physical copy of things, but
Making copies.
yeah. I think like Blu-ray might be like the Blu-ray is capable of displaying 4K content, and by the time 8K content comes around, I don't even know if we're gonna need physical media at all.
No, physical media is going away. There's no.
I know that I don't
there's
even
no
have a Blu-ray
reason for it.
player. I mean, I haven't had a Blu-ray player, and I'm like, well, might as well wait till they get like to be $20 like DVD players at this point, or find somebody's hand-me-down PS3.
Yeah, I mean, I have the PS3. I bought a Blu-ray player for my computer just because I wanted to. Because sometimes I'm just lazy and I want to watch it on my computer, and I was tired of. I have a capture card, but it was just like it was extremely like. There's no reason why I needed to pay for it, but I did it anyways, and it's fine. It works. But what I hate about Blu-ray is that sometimes I'll get a new movie from Netflix. Like I got like fucking Interstellar. I plop it in there, and it was like you have to update your drivers, otherwise we can't play this new Blu-ray. I'm like, oh fuck you. Like I've never had to update my PlayStation. This is horse shit. Like I hate all that shit. That it's like because they added so much new copy protection to this stuff now, so it's like you have to like keep it constantly updated, otherwise it's never gonna. It won't play your discs. Like I had to like completely uninstall the drivers and reinstall them to watch Dawn of the Planet of the Apes because I
God, that was not worth the squeeze. That juice was not worth the squeeze on that.
Yeah, it was because Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is an amazing movie.
No, it wasn't. It was
Have you seen it?
Yeah, I have.
Fucking monkeys riding horses with machine guns.
No, I didn't like that one. It just reminded me of that one that like Amy likes machine gun. That's like it's just pretty terrible.
A monkey named Koba with a fucking scar down his face rides a horse carrying two automatic machine guns, jumping over fire, going in slow motion, shooting. Then he jumps onto a tank, kills the people inside of it as he gets on the gun and starts shooting people. Like, how's that?
I'm not saying the action wasn't there. I'm just saying it wasn't.
Fucking a monkey cries, and then you cry because the monkey cries. It's a good movie.
It's a CGI monkey, even. So a computer animated monkey cries, and it's enough to make you want to cry over something that's not even real.
I guess I didn't. It didn't get me in the feels at all. So I was like, I could live without it.
That's because you don't have a heart, Joe.
Well, that might be true, but I'm just saying I would rather watch something else. I would rather watch Sword Art Online, and I didn't even think that was that great. I thought it was all right, but it got really weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, you clearly need to watch Attack on Titan.
I do want to watch that. Hopefully you know what? This is like the worst time. My I was at a Goodwill and I found let me just get the box. Hold on. Fill some dead air for a second.
No, I refuse to. We're just going to sit in silence.
Yep.
You guys didn't feel any dead air at
all.
No,
that's not true at all. We did.
Yeah, you didn't hear it?
No.
We commented about how we were not going to be filling the dead air. That was immediately after you left, and then we stopped talking.
So anyway, I went to Goodwill, and I found this puppy right here. The Microsoft Sidewinder Force Feedback Steering Wheel. I was like, oh, fuck yeah. It comes with a free copy of Monster Truck Madness 2, and it has a Best Buy sticker on it for $129. I got it for $11. I was like, oh, fuck yeah, this is going to be amazing.
Did you have trouble understanding my cat ears?
So, okay, I have, like, racing games that I want to play on my computer, and I've always wanted a force feedback steering wheel. Don't feel like dumping on the money for, like, a really nice Torque Master or whatever the fuck they're called. But $11, why the hell not? Opened up the box, looked like all the pieces was there. Got it home. I'm like, oh man, it's my lucky day. I was like Charlie running back from when he got the golden ticket, and I didn't even see Slugworth. It wasn't a big deal, and I set it up, got all the pieces, and it's working in the game, but none of the force feedback's happening. I'm like, what the fuck? It's like the control is 1-to-1. I'm like, this is great control, but there's no force feedback. I look at it at the back of it again. It's like this requires some proprietary power connector. I'm like, fuck Microsoft. Jeez. Now I got. So I immediately get on Amazon. There's none like Prime available. This was last weekend. So this, the connector that I need to play this game that I've been waiting to play since I was 14 is gonna arrive the day I leave for Germany. I'm super disappointed because I'm gonna have to sit there and wait like a million years. Then I'm gonna have to wait. Like I'm never gonna want to play it because Grand Theft Auto comes out, and then there's like 2 other things that I really want to play. I have this giant stupid.
Yeah, but you could probably use it in Grand Theft Auto 5, maybe.
I don't know. I'm gonna come back, and now I'm gonna have such a dilemma because Grand Theft Auto 5 will be out. I'm also want to use the steering wheel from 1999 that to play my F1 game, and I'm gonna have such a dilemma. I just want to play. I'm like, I wish I was thinking. I'm like, maybe I could schedule the flight for the next day. Just so I could use this stupid no, I can't do that. That is totally not going to work here. But, yeah. Sidewinder steering wheel. Do you guys ever go to any of those secondhand stores?
Not really.
Do you understand that I paid $20 more to get my ears than buy them online? I don't understand.
Yeah.
Secondhand stores.
He makes a public school teacher's salary. He's doing just fine.
So anyway, I don't know. I just whenever I go through Goodwill, like I never or like Salvation Army, I never go to anything else. I look in like the DVD section. I'm like, is the Star Wars DVDs here? But now I found them, so I don't have to do that anymore.
I'm more than that. I got the original cut and the new animated add-ons cut on VHS of Star Wars.
What?
I don't even own a VHS player anymore.
I have a VHS player. Bought it from Goodwill. Actually, I take that back. I bought this, dude. I'm always like lurking around for deals. I bought 2 of these office chairs and a VHS tape player, along with Robin Hood Men in Tights and Contact for $30. I was like, all right. This was like a Craigslist moving sale, and I was just driving by. I managed to load all of the things in the car. It was a good time. I don't know. I like finding a good deal. And the chairs only smell a little bit bad.
Well, speaking of things that smell a little bit bad, I think it's time we stop talking about all this horse shit and start plugging each other.
Okay.
My plug for this week is the new trailer for the movie from the guys over at 5 Second Film called Dude Bro Party Massacre 3. It's their Red Band trailer for their movie that's coming out sometime in the not too distant future. It looks fucking weird and stupid and amazing. So you can probably check that out. Dude Bro Party Massacre 3. They just skipped straight to number 3. They didn't film 1 and 2.
Great. My plug for this
Maybe
week
they'll
is
revisit it like after they can remaster it, like George Lucas did.
Yeah.
That seems terrible. My plug for this week is the new podcast called Mistresses of Mayhem and Chaos. I got a friend that I used to work with at Walgreens Pharmacy. She started a podcast, and I promised her that I would plug it this week on my very successful podcast, Just Cool Enough. So yeah, check out.
So you lied to this poor woman?
Yeah, definitely. Well, no, what happened was I was like, hey, make sure you check out on hosting on Shout Engine. And she's like, wow, Shout Engine looks amazing. I'm like, yeah, I do a podcast too. She's like, wow, it must be amazing. I'm like, yeah, it's great.
We got listeners in like the tens of tens.
So yeah, I think when I say like, oh yeah, like I'm kind of part owner of this thing, and it's like also an amazing service that revolutionizes podcasting for everyone. Also, I do a podcast of my own. People think it's something else than what it is. But I like this damn show. It's a wonderful show, and I like you guys too. So, anyway, Mistresses
I would know, Joe. All you do is make fun of the things I choose to wear and make me feel bad about myself.
Well, I'm a dick. I'm the dick. Eric's the asshole, and you're the pussy. Like, and sometimes dicks fuck assholes.
For this and more jokes that Joe finds in other places and retells horribly, you can always
whatever, Eric. You do the same exact thing. You do the same thing.
But I point it out. Yeah. I do it so well that you just then repeat the jokes.
I would rather hear it from Eric than wherever I heard it. But with you, I wish I didn't hear it.
Yeah.
I do that too.
Yeah.
For less self-deprecating humor, listen to other shows.
And I'm gonna plug this week. Attack on Titan. If you haven't seen it, go check it out on Netflix. It's definitely worth the watch. I can't help but chain watch it, and it makes me feel bad about things when like watching normal television when I can't chain watch normal TV.
The only problem is halfway through the first season they changed the intro theme and it's garbage. The new theme.
Gosh.
Good way to spoil the intro for me.
Wow.
Well, the Netflix though, if you have it on like your iPad, which is much nicer than using the Apple TV, it will skip over the intro for you into the first 3 minutes, so you don't have to watch all the crap.
Nice. Anyways, you can always follow me on Twitter. I'm at Duncor, DUNCOR.
You can follow me on Twitter at SpeedyF40. Also, look for me on Periscope. I will be periscoping things. Ike?
And you can, you ended on like this weird whatever.
Yeah,
I will be periscoping things.
Yeah, you're
I'll be doing stuff, and you can find me. Okay, now it's your turn. You can follow me on Instagram. You can follow me on Twitter at RailVis, but I don't really do much on Twitter other than watch Joe tweet from the show that we're doing the show. So you can follow me on Instagram at Ike_Dodge. I tend to post pictures on there. Or you can also check out Mostly Shit, because I hear that's a pretty cool guy.
I hear he doesn't afraid of anything.
He doesn't afraid of
He
anything?
doesn't afraid of anything.
Yeah.
Can that be the show name, Eric?
No.
He doesn't afraid of anything. That sounds like the comment we had in our website 2 weeks ago or whatever.
About the devil?
About the devil is scared. I scared devil. Oh, God. Never
Scared
mind.
for devil.
Scared. That's what it is.
Scared
Scared
for,
for devil. Yeah.
Sometimes I scared for devil.
Sometimes
Anyways.
I scared for devil.
Thank you guys so much for listening. Have a wonderful weekend. And until next week, enjoy Grand Theft Auto and fuck off.
Oh man.
Too bad Joe won't be here next week.
I won't. I'm gonna miss. You guys do. Please do a show, because I'm gonna be so sad if I don't.
What we need to do next week is get plane tickets, fly to Joe's place, and then break his fucking his force
my race wheel.
race wheel. So he'll come home like, yeah, finally, and then come out just be in pieces on. He'll wake up and pieces will be in his bed. He'll be like, no.
He's just sitting there crying. He's like, no, there was finally time. There was finally time.
Maybe next time you shouldn't go away, Joe. Then things won't mysteriously happen to the shit you want to hold on to.